Hi everyone and welcome to TFTV. This is season 31 powered by Copenhagen Games on ETF2L. Premiership, of course. This is the first game of the season. Ascent against SVIFT, and I'm Ombrack, and I'm joined by the infamous Connor. Hi Connor, how you doing?
Hey, Ombrack. Feeling pretty good about this game, Can't wait to get into it and see what's going to happen.
Yeah, first game of the season, and two big names already with Ascent.EU and SVIFT.EU, so it should be a cool game, pretty clutch match already. So on one end, both teams are kind of new to, like we've seen these names before, but never playing together, not as a whole at least. On one side we have the former Sona Slayer, now to be known as Ascent.EU, led by AMS, and on the other side what could be called a merge between the bus crew and maybe remnants from Velocity and SVIFT. So before we go into details, what do you expect from this first game of the season?
I think this game's going to be really interesting because this season going into it, no one really knows, apart from maybe like the top 2 or 3. I think mid-prem's going to be really interesting. So this game will sort of give us an indication of where everyone's going to stack up against each other. Like the SVIFT team, I'm not really sure how it's going to go because, as you say, last season they finished, it was Velocity / bus crew. They finished like 7th and 8th. So it's going to be really interesting to see, how they play together. Have they gelled? Has Smear really brought them together? The original SVIFT member. So yeah, I think it's going to be really interesting tonight.
Yep. Before we go into any more analysis of the matchup, we should go maybe into the rosters. As a former Ascent player myself, I'll just go with that team and I'll leave you as SVIFT, if that's okay for you, buddy.
Of course, buddy.
So for Ascent.EU on Scout, we have AMS, of course, the leader of the team, the one who created it, the man himself. With him on Scout is another Finn, Credo, who was already playing for Ascent in past seasons. The soldiers are both really well known, really crazy players, Drac and Silentis, both from the UK. Drac will be playing Roma while Silentis has shifted to Poké recently. The demo man will be Elacour, the Frenchman, who's been playing for Ascent for quite a long time now. I think he's been under the Ascent banner for a year now. And on the medic straight from the other side of the ocean, Nursey is making a comeback into EU TF2, playing the medic man. I think AMS get out of his way, and he specifically wanted Nursey to play for his team. And I'll let you go through SVIFT now.
On the SVIFT side, the leader, Smear, formerly of previous SVIFT iterations. Played last season with me and Samsy in that lot, and he went to LAN with us. So he's going to be on the demo man role. We got 2 Prem winners on the soldier role, so anything can happen. We got Rising, formerly of Suave, that lot, and we got Polygon of also previous SVIFT back when they won in season 29. We got Martin from the bus crew. He's going to be playing the medic for you guys tonight. And on the scouts, I believe it's Alba Pocket and Ixie's flank. I'm not entirely sure on that one, but those are the scouts for SVIFT tonight.
Yeah, so maybe people are out of the loop and they've heard about a possible Saint reform. Guys, this has been a troll. I'm sorry to announce it to you, but no, Dania isn't back, and the other Swedish people, they're not playing. This is another SVIFT version that we have tonight, and as you mentioned it, some Prem winners on SVIFT, so I think maybe more Prem winners on SVIFT than Ascent, now that I think about it, or maybe the same number, because Drac and AMS have won themselves, and Credo as well. So it's 3 Prem winners to 2, so it's actually a really close matchup. The more we delve into that game, the closer it seems. But now that we've come across the rosters, we kind of know what to expect. And so do you think it's going to be that close, or do you already see some people taking the edge over their counterparts?
Well, although there's a wealth of experience, on both sides, I think the AMS, led team, everyone sort of pitted them as the team to overthrow 7, if you will. They're the EU's hope to finally take back the throne from 7. But I think it's been a weird off season. Lots of teams have been unexpectedly beating other teams. So I honestly, I think anything could happen tonight. Do you know what the maps are for tonight?
Um, week one map corner. Have you ever came to that game prepared or something? The first map of the season of Process and Granary, so kind of a cool mixture between aggressive playstyle maybe for Process and slow pace for Granary, kind of mix on old and middle old, kind of new, because Process has been around for quite some time now. But I feel for these two new teams, because even though some of these players played together before, I feel like starting the season with established maps is going to help them in the way that they don't really have to build that much synergy, because they all know the maps really well. So it could go really like on DM kind of hectic gameplay. But from what I've seen, I don't know much about Swift. I'm going to be honest with you, because I didn't really follow what they were doing, and I don't think they played that much up until now. But I've merged for Ascent. I think you did as well, but we both played for Ascent a bit. I think they've been playing for like a month now or something, or 3 weeks, and I think everybody knows they have some trouble with how to play their game, because both AMS and Delacor are really heal-heavy players, and it's going to be interesting to see who's going to take the better end of that stick, who's going to be getting all the heals. And from what I've seen and what I've felt when I played with them, I don't know if you agree with me, but I feel like AMS is winning that battle so far. He's leading that team, so he's the one making most of the calls, and we all seen Delacor mulching people over and over for like 3 seasons now, but always because he had the heals. So it's going to be interesting to see how they have, if they can get chemistry soon enough, because I know it could be a struggle for them if either of these players don't get heals. I'm not saying they're gonna crumble, but I could see it happen, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, no, I get you. I think another interesting contrast between the two teams is the sort of the main calling style. So like on Swift, I played with Smear, at LAN last season, and he's got a very, very strong main calling. He is in charge. Everyone listens to him. There's none of this counter calling. Although Pappy did try last season, he did try his best, but Smear is in control. He is the man who's like, we're doing this, and everyone follows. Whereas on Ascent, I played with him last week, and as you have too, and you're not always sure what's going on. Am sort of has the strats, he's saying, let's do this, but there's always a lot of chaos going on. This is the sort of team that will thrive in the chaos, because they've just got the DM. You've got Elacor, just 400 DPM sort of man, just hitting pipes left, right, center. So I think Ascent is more of a loose team, whereas Swift will have sort of more, like cohesive strategies, if you will.
Yeah, true. I think Smear is maybe even kind of underrated to what his main calling abilities. I think like when people think about Demoman main calling, they always think of a Cadus, and it's fair enough. But I think Smear really turned up the past 2 seasons, and I felt like he could really well lead that team to maybe unexpected results. And for Sen, I mentioned earlier that Drac was playing Roamer in Silence's Pocket. That wasn't how it started. Let's remind everyone that at the beginning, it was Drac playing Pocket for that team, and Silences was playing Roamer. And I think the team as a whole realized that they had so much trouble deciding what to do, and AMS wasn't able to main call on his own. He needed assist. So I think that's why Silences shifted to the Pocket role, so he could help AMS making the calls, and maybe, toning down the aggression from AMS, because we all know that Finn player, he likes to go in, he likes to go deep, but sometimes it's not the proper way to play the game. So I feel like Silences, weirdly enough, because Silences also is a really aggressive player, but Silences will be the one slowing down AMS a bit, and they haven't tried that really for a long time. I think they started on Sunday, we're only Monday, so if you make the math quickly, that's only 24 hours of Silences Pocket. So are they ready enough? Are they set yet to play that way? I actually think playing a team that could be so coordinated as Swift can be with Smear, as you said, is going to be a really good test for them. Week 1, first big test for Sen. I feel like this could actually really tell how the season will go for them.
Yeah, no, definitely. Ombrack, I have a question for you.
Tell me.
So I want you to pick a member on each team tonight. Who is the person that needs to show up? For each of the respective teams to win, who is the guy that's going to lead them to victory?
Well, for Sam, we've already mentioned AMS. I feel like Eloqua will have a big part of it because you mentioned how Smear is a strong main caller, but I feel like from what I've seen playing against him, I feel like if Smear is getting a bit overthrown by the other demo, he's not main calling as well. Well, you know that better than me because you play with him, but I feel like if Smear is not really feeling it, if he has to focus on building the demo more than on calling, I feel like that's gonna hurt his team. So I feel like for Ascent, it's gonna be Elacor, and also with all that getting the heal part of the equation that we mentioned already. And for Swift, I want to say Polygon.
Polygon.
Yeah, I think people will expect maybe Ixie or Alba to show up as scout or sniper, do something, but I feel like Polygon, I think is the core of that team more than people think. I heard your surprised tone when you said Polygon. I feel like he won Prem. You said it. I think second season Prem he won it with first with Swift. I think that was Ali's version of the team. He played with Martin last season as part of the bus crew, and from what I know, they has some difficulty, some troubles to play with each other. Martin and Polygon. I know Martin would usually drop him from the Uber, and that would upset. Well, I mean, any player who would get dropped on the Uber would get upset. That makes perfect sense. So I feel like if Polygon can fix that issue, and with Smire, making the calls to coordinate them better, maybe that would work. But I feel like, yeah, if the pocket, as a pocket, if you can really turn up and use the heals efficiently during fights, especially against a DM heavy such as DM heavy teams such as Ascent, I feel like Polygon really has it could be the trump card for Swift.
Yeah, and I think in addition to that, Polygon is one of these pockets who, if Smear, starts going silent, he's getting out DM'd by Eloquor, he also has the calls as well. He's able to take control, in transitions, just in the heat of the moment. He's able to, like, guys, okay, this is what we're going to do. If Smear's really lacking in that area, I think Polygon could really pick up. And another player I'd like to highlight on Swift is Rising. I honestly think he's a very intelligent player. He's one of these roamers. He's not super flashy, he's hit some nice shots in his time, but he's one of these players that's always going to be coming in on the back line, like getting on your medic, and I think that's a real strength for Swift tonight.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I think one of Rising's more important strength as well is the fact that he's such a chill dude. He's so relaxed, and I feel like when you're winning, it's all good because everybody's cheered up and everybody's going fine. But when the team is losing, I think it's important to have one player in your team that can cheer up and kind of break the ice, break the bad momentum. And I think Rising can do that perfectly because it's really like, I don't know, I think you have to have a player like this. And for example, Ascent don't really have that player. Maybe Credo is that kind of player, but Rising is definitely the jolly lad in the team. And I think that's actually a really good way to describe him because that's from playing with him. That's how I got lucky enough to play with him at Copenhagen last year, and he's a pleasure to play with.
Yeah. Well, Ombrack, we got 12 players in the server. Should we, delve into some predictions? Let's just start with the first map. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. What are you expecting to see on Process tonight?
The meat of the game. What is it gonna go down to? I want to say Sam because some personal bias. Because I played with some of the players and Credo and Eloquor are good friends, but I think people kind of expect maybe a role. I think there's a lot of hype around Ascent, and I want to say they win it, but maybe not as it's not gonna be a flawless victory,
It's not gonna be convincing.
Not as convincing as people expect, I think.
Are you gonna, put any numbers on that, or are you just gonna say the Ascent win?
2 wins difference for Ascent. Two rounds, yeah.
Okay, so what, like a 4-2, 5-3, something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Okay, I can see the 5-2. That's what I'm going with. For Ascent, I'd like to support Swift, but I honestly think this is in Ascent's favour tonight. So yeah.
Oh, one thing we haven't mentioned yet, the sniper duel. Like Credo on Ascent, Alba for Swift.
Alba.
That could go crazy. Like if the medic don't drop at all on this map, this is gonna be a real showing, because these two players on like, even if they have a bad day on Scout, they turn up a sniper all the time.
Definitely, and you know, as we saw it land, the Alba shot through roller onto seeds.
Crazy, crazy
mental.
stuff. So this is it, first game of the season, Connor. This is Ascent.EU against SVIFT.EU. This is the first map, this process, season 31 of Premiership, ETF2L, sponsored by Copenhagen Games, and I'll let you, Connor, take us away on that first middle.
Yeah, the first thing I'm seeing is Elikor has failed his roller. He's come out on the suicide. You see both teams posturing up, both sort of shifting to the right-hand side by sewers. Not much damage coming out as we see the big bombs from the Ascent soldiers flying in. Huge rocket onto Martin, and Swift are getting very, very low, but they're actually trading frags in favour of Swift. Another frag is in the favour, and it's just 4 versus 5 right now. Swift are taking the right-hand side and really bullying Ascent, and Ascent have actually had to leave.
Yeah, it's really weird because Rising was the first one to go down. Oh, the fight! The fight from Elikor! Oh my god, he just mulched him in choke, and he didn't get any frag, but I think he got a bit take credit for these 2 frags, and now Ams is pushing forward with the help of Credu. They take down Alba, and they were on the prowl. They want to get maybe Martin, but they have to slow down a bit thanks to the help of, I think it's Rising, holding that choke a bit. But oh my god, they don't have middle at all. They don't have any cap time, but they're already pushing on second. The big bomb is coming, but Credu dives to Rising, and that should be a reset for both teams. Well, Ascent is gonna set up on the middle, but
that was absolutely crazy from Elikor in that choke. That pipe onto Polygon. And he nuked the scout as he walked in, and you could just hear Ams, screaming, "Okay, we're pushing." 6 versus 4, just running back into it. As we see the Soli come in onto Nursey, big force coming out from Rising there.
Yeah, really nice play here from Rising, getting some kind of advantage now for their team. I don't think Ascent can push there, so they have to slow down. It's going to be a NAD for Swift. Swift is already in. They're breaking the cap. There's no mid.
It's 4 in
It's been 2 minutes on the round, and no middle has been capped. Drac is trying to make his way to the middle with the help of Credu.
Nursey's caught in sewers right now. Ixie's trying to fight him. Ams goes down. It's just Nursey on the second, and Nursey goes down. This is a brilliant Uber from Swift. As there's players everywhere on the map. I'm seeing Drac pushing IT, as Swift are trying to retake the mid, trying to cap, minute here. But Drac is still behind in sewers. So have to keep an eye on that.
I don't really catch how Nursey got caught here on in the enemy line. I think that's maybe the first mistake of the season for Ascent. And now Swift is trying to make their way in. Martin on the 40% Uber ad, and looks like Smire wants his team to take space here. Elikor was already so weak, he's not dying on, but that was really a nail biter hit for the Frenchman.
Here comes Drac. Oh no, mid, he's just chilling behind.
He's not going in, and it's gonna be a nap now for Swift. It's 40%, so they have some time, but they don't want to take it too slow anyway. Gun is getting built by Credu, and Smir is already picking. Don't have Uber quite yet. 100% now for Martin, and they're walking. Smir is leading that charge. Maybe still hasn't used cap time. Uber is used now for Martin. Nurse is really weak. Low, he doesn't die in spawn. I mean, and now with the heavy onto Credu, this is gonna be it for Swift. Nothing is achieved with that Uber. 2 casualties even, and nobody died for Ascent, so it's gonna be a perfect hold and maybe a push out even for Elikor and the rest of his team.
Yeah, that heavy was absolutely crucial. Ams is actually pushing Smear on the second point, might get the frag. But is the rest of the team going to back him up? They're slowly flooding onto seconds. They've got full Uber out here, and they're sending some sacks in. Smear goes down. Polygon's going on the back lines, going to last. I don't think Swift are going to be able to get the clock off. Yes, they do. Polygon's on last. Oh, so close. And Swift
Credu cleaned him. His former teammate. They played together in the previous Ascent, and now Ixie dies as well in the backline. So these 2 people feeding is now an open window for Ascent to push on that middle, and it's really hard to slow down conduct because so many things are happening all the time. There's no downtime. Yeah, it's been 4 minutes, and we haven't got the time to breathe. And maybe this is our first opportunity here to take a breather, see what's happening. But no, Polygon, he doesn't care. Polygon jumps in. The corner jump is coming as well. From, I think that was Drac. Silentus tried to go in. Polygon dies, and this should be it for Swift. But no, they want to build on their momentum. They know they have Uberat. He's using in. Can he get Nursey? No. The nice nerfs from the medic from NA, and Syria dies as well in the process. That's not really looking good now. Nursey 90% Uber, and Ascent already making their way back into the middle. They don't want to give any ground to the enemy team. Elikor is getting protected from Ixie, and even gets him with a nice pipe. Kind of lucky here, I think. And 3 people down for Swift. And again, Connor, this is never-ending fight.
This is such a hectic game on Ombrack. As I think we might start to have a stalemate on the second point here. I can't quite see what Martin's Uber's at, but I believe Ascent have at here.
Yeah, 30% Uber ad for Nursey, and the Ascent is making their way through the lobby. They don't have that much time to chill, and X is on sniper as well. Maybe can get the clutch shot onto the medic, but they're not showing, and maybe they don't think they have ad, and they're wasting their Uber ad here, Conduct. I feel like maybe there's some kind of mystery of the situation. So this is gonna be indeed our first stalemate, but no, even again, I'm getting trolled as I said that both soldiers from Ascent jumping in, getting denied by the gun, and they both go down. So now maybe it's a window, an opportunity here for Swift to come back. They're trying to maybe pick one and see if they can go deep, but Nursey is hiding behind the stairs. I don't think I've ever seen you done that, Conrad. Maybe that's the play.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't choose to go off their 30% ad. Maybe Nursey wasn't counting it as well as perhaps he should have been. Yeah, we are finally gonna have a stalemate here, I believe. I don't see any off classes on the side of the blue team. Is Ixie on spot? He's just in spawn checking classes, but they do have the polygon pick. They might try to use this to do something.
To tell us, Conduct, you know what it's like to play medic in that situation. You have teams to back you up here. How do you want Nursey and that team to and her team to break that stalemate?
Break the stalemate right up. Would you see the double solid attack coming? The jumps all around. Martin is actually playing safe in spawn, so this Silentes soldier up in panic is going to do nothing, and they get another 2 picks.
Do you like what you see when you see 2 soldiers bombing in? Is that how you feel you should take it? As we'll maybe see that later. As I see Polygon again getting completely mulched by Arms here. It should be a reset, but no.
2 shots, Arms.
Oh my god.
Nursey's getting weak. Gets forced on the back lines.
And the Uber is used while Martin can safely go back to last. So it's not really like it looks good, but pushing out of process lab, even when you have Uber ad, it's not that easy to do, especially when you have 2 people down. So they're gonna have to be careful for the backup and the traps from Miracle. We can see 4 stickies in bottom lobby, 4 stickies in first door. So it's gonna be hard for Martin to go out of this lobby safely. He's getting spammed out already, and the bomb is coming from Drag, and I don't think they can make it out. Smearing doesn't agree with me. The Credu teach him a lesson here with the bullet in the head, and that should be a reset now. Martin's already making his way back. So yeah, Conduct, maybe another reset here. What do you think Ascent should do to break that stalemate?
Well, as we can now see, because they have the sniper, Martin's holding in this close position by lobby. I feel this is much easier for Sollies to get in, Rollout's looking pretty free right now. One's looking pretty free as well, especially with Smear down. We can probably get some soldier pogos from lobby somewhere, because Martin's just in that close position. It just renders him so much, more available to being bombed. And as Credu hits the snipe onto Polygon, this could open up even more here.
The bomb is coming. Oh, Smear is actually going really aggressive on Amps. He gets a frag on one of his former teammates, but Credu is still picking. Nobody really contests him, but he doesn't have a really good side. Oh, he gets.
Oh my god.
Smear. I thought it was Martin, but that was really, really close here. He gets the demo man, and that could be a window for Drac or Silentes to bomb onto Martin.
Martin's getting so weak. He's 30 health right.
He's getting spammed, but he's hiding in spawn. He's safe now. He's full health, and it should be it again. But Swift soldiers, they are under so much pressure. They can't stay like that forever. The close range headshot from Credu to Polygon, but he gets cleaned up by 2 nice rocket here from the former Prem winner.
She's in.
She's getting forced. She's alone. She dropped Arms, and this is looking really, really dire now for Sen. There's 3 up, and they have to push back. Look at that. Smear is making a human shield to try to block the way from Nursey, and Nursey again. She ain't seen. They haven't seen her. Oh my god, she escapes. That's crazy.
Oh my god,
I think Elaco just drew that attention here, and the backup was almost coming here from Silentes, but it got cleaned up by Rising. Oh, that was Rack, rather. But that was really close. I think that Nurses got really lucky to escape. Well, Silentes tried to go for the air shot onto Martin, but got cleaned up by Polygon. But yeah, I think there's no way Nurses should have escaped here. But in the end, as I said, that 3 people died for a stand, and now Swift showing how they play so far. They should take that for free. Yeah,
they just do not want to stop. They're coming into this midpoint here, and the center just backing off. They had 3 down. They didn't feel as if they could contest it. As let's have a look at these Ubers here.
It's even corner. So once again, I feel so. Let's take a breather again if the team allow us to do so. But I feel like pushing second on process when Ubers are even is actually really hard. Way more cellmating than people may think. And I think this is one of the moment in TF2 where this is the hardest to push to push on. I don't know if you agree with me, but here for Swift, it's going to be really hard to force that Ubans from
Here comes Rising, in on the point. That's absolutely denied by Credu, and Nephews. Rising makes it out. But yeah, that was a big play from Credu there, just keeping his eyes on these soldiers, jumping in.
But yeah, that's what I mentioned. It's going to be really hard for Rising Polygon to accept the perfect play from them. This is going to be really hard for them to force Nurse. So what do you recommend here? If you're Swift, you've been Swift for quite some time now. If you're Swift, how do you want to take that situation?
You know, what I like to do on this point, Ombrack, is just to get up a sniper, but not because of the sniper himself. You know, I'm not expecting him to hit some shots, because on this point here, you know, it's so hard for a medic to stand anywhere. If you take control of that sewer area as Swift, the medic can either stand like on top of the point, which you can like easily get spammed by pipes over, as we do see Polygon coming in, but absolutely no damage on Nasi.
No, he actually shot between the two slope thing on that spire, so that was kind of unlucky for Polygon. But even if he hit that first rocket, I don't think there's much that could have been done from him. And maybe we're gonna see a corner sack coming, but it feels like Ascent, maybe people don't really expect them to play that way, but they can be really patient as well. They're not really DM donkeys all across the board. They can know how to slow down, and I think this is what Silentis brings to the table when he's on pocket. I feel like if Ams was main calling on his own without Silentis, maybe he would have tried to go for a trade, you know. But now he's getting really careful, and as I say that, look at Polygon, he's on Spy and he's going to try to make the difference. He's cloaking really far away from the choke. He doesn't want to get spotted. And here, maybe you may remember the play from, who was it, who played Spy against Cookie Jake? Was it Samsky maybe? But, oh no, that was Adiski playing Spy against Cookie Jake and being really patient on that exact same point, second point on process. And we've seen drops happening here from EU players onto NA medics, so maybe we're gonna have just a revival from
I think Drac knows.
I-63.
Drac's shooting random spam rockets around. I think he knows.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah,
you know what?
Oh my fuck.
That's Drac. Drac is insane. That's
Drac.
the Prem winner addition to the team. You know, you need that. Nobody else would have known about this. But in the end, that doesn't really hurt Swift that much. And Credu as an answer, he went back to spawn. He's on sniper, and it's probably what you mentioned a sniper that was mostly for Swift as the attacking team, but even as the defenders, he can use that sniper to break the stalemate, try to get a crazy peek onto that demo. That would be perfect for Credu, and Smear will have to be careful because he's been shot in the head once already in that game by Credu, so he doesn't really want to replicate that situation.
Yeah, definitely. I find, you know, as the defending team here, once you say you pick off the Spy, it's so hard to counter that, because if you look at choke, Smear's got these stickies on both sides of choke, so although it's open, you know, you want a solid sack coming through, Smear's just going to completely deny you and probably kill you on the sticky trap. So I like the fact they're trying, you know, find other ways around it and resorting to this sniper.
But Credu doesn't connect quite yet, and I feel like when you have a sniper as the defending team on your second, you kind of you tell to the enemy team, we're not gonna push out, we're really happy to wait here, so it's gonna be up to you guys to do something. Because when you have a sniper, when you're the blue team right now in this situation, when you're a Ascent and you have a sniper, even if Credu gets one pick, it's gonna be really hard for Ascent to push out of that, because one pick is, because the sniper is basically a pick in himself, because he can't push really quickly, and that's, oh, Elaco killed Rising with the sticky trap. I don't know if that, I must admit, I don't know if that was Rising stacking or something, but that's exactly what we mentioned. A pick isn't enough in itself to push forward when you're holding your second point, and it's not gonna be enough for Sen. I've seen them doing that really interesting stuff where they bring Ams and Nursey through PC, and they use through to try to get picks while suppressing the enemy team and try to work out of that. But they're not doing that quite now, and now it's Alba doing exactly what Credu did 2 minutes ago. He's going back to spawn. Maybe Rising sack as a utility, you know, he sacked so Alba could go back to spawn and take sniper. So we're gonna have what we expected, Connor. This is gonna be the sniper duel, the sniper ultimate showdown between Credu and Alba.
Yeah, no, definitely, as we are slowly but surely approaching the halfway mark. We are still sat at 0-0. And I love the way Smear is playing right now. You know, he's playing super safe, he's not exposing his head. He actually hits a pipe onto Credu there, but nothing comes of it. As we do see the Roma trade on the flank. So maybe this could open up some sightlines, you know, for the sniper. There's less pressure on the field.
And I don't think Credu has spotted Alba yet, unless he heard him, but I don't know if he's aware of that. And Alba is being really cautious. You can see that he doesn't really. Oh, and as I said, of course, it's as if these players, they know what I'm saying and they want to prove me wrong all the time. But Alba is not trying to make his way through choke with the support from Smear. He's trying to get an angle, but Nursey is well aware. She knows where to hold. She's actually she's on Spire right now, so she actually could get bombed because there's not many amps to deny. So I feel like she sent both Polygon and Rising at the same time. You could actually get the force to Nursey here, but as they actually kind of sag, but not really how they, because both Polygon and Rising die, and could be really wrong now for Swift. The Swift, yeah, with Alba kind of slowed down that push from Ascent, and from what I've seen from Ascent, this is really counterintuitive. You know, this is really not what they have practiced so far, because they played really aggressive on their scrims, and you can really feel that this is unofficial now, and this is there's way more at stake than on a regular Sunday night scrim.
Yeah, no, definitely. I feel like, you know, these teams are sort of, you know, first official together, you know, sort of jitters, and they're really not playing as I expected. You know, I thought it was going to be, you know, fast, aggressive TF2, sort of like we saw in the first 10 minutes. But now, you know, maybe got that person, you know, Rising's like, guys, let's slow this down. You know, let's stop this just chain feedings, you know, trading frags.
I'll have to interrupt you here, Connor, because Credu, he won the sniper battle, so maybe now he's gonna be the one who make his way through that choke. The Smear is aware. The bomb from Track! Martin drops! He got 3 rockers and didn't want to use it, but maybe he should have, because in the end he died and it's the Uber. Now it's gonna be a freeway to middle for Ascent if they play that correctly. But look at Smear just hiding behind the rocks, trying to be aggressive. He doesn't want to give any ground. He's going aggressive onto the middle, but it gets cleaned up, and now the Uber is used by Nursey. And Polygon dies as well. Maybe XC as well getting cleaned up by nice 2 CKs here from Melafo. But that player from Drag, that was exactly what Ascent needed to break that stalemate.
Yeah, that is the problem when you have a sniper. You know, if you got 1 scout off passing sniper, you've only got 1 scout on the field on Ombrack. You know, if a Solly comes in, you don't have as much denial as you normally would. And Drag managed to get off 3 rockets. I must also point out that Sil hit an absolute crisp air shot onto Polygon during that Uber.
That helps a lot, of course. And now it's gonna be even, because the Ascent took some time to take the ground, and the Martin spawned, of course. So now it's gonna be even. We've seen that situation before. We've seen Ascent not being able to break that stalemate, and looks like they don't really want to wait for that Uber. Look at Creed already being aggressive right side. He misses the shot. I think he bodied the Martin. He didn't quite get the headshot, but there's so much pressure onto Swift now. But nice retaliation here from Polygon, taking down enemy sniper. But with a gun from Ixie, this is Swift is basically telling Ascent now, this is their time to tell. We're not gonna push out, guys, and this is gonna be up to you to have that crisp shot, because we're not gonna try anything.
Yeah, no, what I really like is that when Ascent have the sniper, it sort of draws all the attention to the lobby area. And what Drak likes to do in this sort of time is he pressures rollout, and he's just hitting, you know, 50 damage rockets from rollout onto Martin, and it's just so much extra pressure on the medic, you know. You know, maybe Martin doesn't know where it's coming from, and we could, you know, soon see a force coming in from Swift.
Oh, the bomb from Drak, but it gets denied by the gun, and Silentis as well getting cleaned up by the sentry gun. I think there's a name bar on that player, Ixing. You should be careful not getting back here, but now this is gonna be again 2 player dying is not really hurting Ascent too much, because look at Elko, he has the sticky laid up. Rising tried to. Oh, but it's cool used from Nursey, but I think Elko got Smear kind of lucky pipe here. And they tried to make something out of the Uber, but I think we've seen this situation before with the Uber used from Ascent on the Swift slot, but nothing quite happening with it yet. And maybe they want to try to push out, but with a gun, that's mean 1 scout less to cap that, and this is really crucial here to have a decent cap time on that point. So now we're gonna see how they want to do it, but they use from lower lobby to try to get Nursey. Nice rocket from Polygon, completely juking Nursey into the air and getting the medic in the end. Yeah, you mentioned Drag on last.
3 players back on last.
Yeah, exactly. That's crucial, and that may be enough for Ascent to try to put pressure. Silenta is straight with not straight, he wins that fight, and Amps tries to go in, but he can't do anything against 4-player Amps. You need to read that situation better, and in the end, this is once again a situation that looks slightly better for Swift. We can see Elako playing way less aggressive on this occasion, and only a clever sticky drop now, he can't get anything out of it. It looks like a point cap for Swift. Elako maybe getting caught off position, but no, Swift, he serves away. That's a nice decision here. But 2 two frags coming up, and this could be enough for Swift to Ascent to take it back and maybe transform that into more.
It's even 3 frags, as we do see Credit come back up on the sniper. So yeah, they really didn't lock down the areas. You know, Eloquor had free reign of the choke. He was trying to walk back in. We saw the solly bombs and then just the Credu sniper from Suez. As we do see Ascent busting into last. They have the Credu sniper. There's so much space, but Martin did use his Uber.
Why?
I think he was scared of the sniper.
That's possible, because other than that, I don't see any reason why. They cleaned up 2, they cleaned Amps and Credu, so no sniper, no scout, and on Uber, so that's pretty valuable as well, Connor, to have the Uber in your hands. With someone on the back cap, Drac, can he get it? Yes, he can. He's been unseen, unspotted, and Drac, as a comeback into that premiership, he gets the first round of the season out of a really clever back cap here. I didn't see him coming.
I didn't see him either. You know, I saw Eloquor flying in the Uber.
I think he just fooled everyone, Drac. That's the way to go.
Guys, the beast. As we are 20 minutes down, and we just see our first round, and Smear is a lot faster than Eloquor. Takes his pack. Eloquor's waiting for an arrow and choke. As we do see Solly's Jack, huge bomb, skybox. Here comes Silas well straight onto the medic. Martin's crouched under him. Huge 100 rocket onto Martin. Ascent are just rolling over the point. There's only 2 players left alive as Martin's trying to run and choke, but he does.
He don't know Pully goes behind. He don't know he's there. Maybe he has 2 options: breaking the cap or trying to go for the medic. I feel like he want to go for the cap, trying to get one-on-one against his former teammate. Credu tried to look for him, but he can't win that fight. 2 nice rockets from Polygon, completely slowing down the aggression from Ascent. We can see Amps getting directed, but also coming back onto that middle point. So now this could be a nice situation here for Ascent, but they have 90% Uber ad already, and Alba is already getting a gun on last, so you don't want to be in that situation when you're Swift right now. You're losing 1-0, you lost the middle, and you lost your medic, so that's way too many disadvantage in situation now at play now for Swift. And they will have to be really efficient in that hold here.
Yeah, but that was an absolute, you know, that's as much as you can ask from Polygon in that situation. You know, that delaying just really buys time. As Amps is actually in on last, they've used the Uber, they've killed off Smear. Martin should be living up in the panic room area, but they have so much space now on last. They're getting rid of the gun. Point's open, there are no stickies. Amps is diving straight onto it, dies with 1 rocket, but there's so much time on the point, and that's another round going to Ascent here on Ombrack.
Oh, that was such a quick round this time. We waited 22 minutes for a first one, but after what feels like been only 1 minute, there's already a second one, and I feel like that push from Amps, that's something he got from the 7 textbook here, because that aggression onto lobby to last without having the second secured was really something that 7 would do perfectly the previous seasons. So already now it's 2-0 for Sen, and Swift, they will want to have a really strong mid to take it back. You can see again double bomb from Drac and Silentes, completely mulching Smire onto that Suez, and Connor jumping coming from Rising, but it can't be quite as efficient as his counterparts, and now everybody's getting cleaned up. It's a 2v3 demo for Swift, but Smir is completely isolated. Nice arrow here from Martin through that doors, but he can't do much. And of course on the pro, gets 1 sticky onto Martin. Can he get more? He's chasing. He's bloodthirsty, but he can't get any more than this. But Credu doesn't agree with that. He's trying to peek onto that lobby. They can't do much more, and they don't have mid at all. So now they will have to be wary of that retaliation from Swift, because only 3 of them are on Spire, so against 6 players from the red team, it's gonna be hard to hold.
Yeah, on these mids, you know, it's just, I feel like it's all the soldiers. Like on Ascent side, we got, you know, Silentes and Drac just flying in. As we do see the recontest from Swift. This is a bit of a mistake, I feel. They trade 2 for 1, and the Uber has been forced out, but they have a much better Uber on the Swift side. And there's 2 players behind on Ascent. Everyone is just really confused, and Nursey goes down in the middle of all of it.
And there's no middle as well, so none of it will have the better spawns, and if team will, that would be Swift, because they're fighting closer to their spawns. Elako is really weak and he doesn't have any heal, so it's a free jump from Smire. He's trying to get in, trying to get assist from his teammates, but he can't get anything because I think someone, Drac went in the backline, he cleaned up Ixie, so it kind of slowed the aggression from Smire, but in the end that could be a middle, and with Nursey down, maybe that 30% Uber add into the hands of Martin will be what they need to come back and make it a 2-1, because right now the clock is ticking, Connor. It's only 5 minutes and 45 seconds left, so it may seem like a lot of time, but these 2 teams, they could be able to slow it down. But as I say that again, I'm being proven wrong, because Ansel is in that charge. They try to fight again. Elako's getting completely mulched. Smire gets 2 and Rising gets another one. that's a complete crumble, and I don't know why Ascent tried to take that fight. They had no reason to rush in.
I think Ascent are trying the hardest to throw, you know. They had Drac behind, they thought, you know, they could collapse onto Swift. Because you see Drac in the sewers right now, but Swift know, and they're just going straight onto last. With Martin has full Uber, they're just running in straight onto the point. So much cap time. Oh, I love this from Swift. I absolutely love it. What Smear likes to do is, you know, he runs the pain train. So he just has that 2 times capture time. And there's just that's one round for Swift here.
Tell me, Connor, is it Swift playing really well or Ascent making a really big mistake here?
I think that was a bit of a mistake from Ascent there, but I did like the play that we had on second.
True. Yeah.
Swift,
it's really important to capitalize on the mistakes of your opponents. Props to Swift, I guess. And now it is coming again. The same bomb from Dragon Silentes. Nothing really new happening here. It's the same situation over and over again. But this time, nice answer from the scouts, and Smear gets another one as well. So that could be good because the health is way better for Swift, and they have better numbers as well. Smear completely nuked. He got only 1 frag on this middle, but he completely nuked the aggression from Ascent.
Yeah, that crisp 1 pipe onto 3 people was definitely the difference maker there, Ombrack. As we do see Martin with a full overcharge advantage here. They'll be taking the 2nd point, and we have a game on our hands, Ombrack.
Could this be the first comeback of the season for the first map? I want to believe it will be, and now we... Ooh, look at Ams. Ams is on Sniper. We haven't seen him on a Sniper rifle yet, but this time he's taking the matter into his own hands. He's trying to see if he can see Martin, but Martin is using through onto Smear. The gun is kind of delaying the push quite well. Polygon straight to take the high ground as well. The Silentes caught him, and there's no cap time at all for Swift. They don't want to do anything. They get 2 soldiers, so that's really good. They can't play point now because nobody will be able to bomb them. And Ixie knows about Ixie, he's on the cap and he gets it! And that's 2-2 after 20 minutes. Only 1 round was scored, but 5 minutes later it's already 2-2.
Yeah, that's what I love about the Swift push. Smear, you know, he's so in control of that last push. You know, they use the Uber in, they get the gun, and then Smear's like, reset. Let's take our time, find the picks, clear the point off, and then they collapse again. They get into that corner, and it's 2-2. We do see the demos arriving to our 5th mid-fight. Smear and Ellicott, and Rising is straight into the IT of the opposing team. But we do see the big bombs coming in from Drac and Silentes.
Oh
my god! And the Ascent are so pumped around the point, and Rising got so much damage there. It's now a 4v4, but Ascent are just choosing to hightail it out of there on Ombrack. And it's Swift's mid. Upon Arms on the back lines!
Martin was completely isolated outside of sewers, and Amps, that was just a gift of God here for the Finnish cow. Ixie cleaned up, but in the end Martin is still, Nurse is still alive, and that positioning, I don't know who's at fault here, but Martin being completely alone here outside of Stu was really, really bad. And I was about to say momentum is so important for Swift here, but that momentum got broken in 2 in half a second.
Yeah, I think Swift are starting to be a little bit overconfident here, you know. They thought they had the midpoint in their hands, as we do see this fast push from Ascent coming through IT. I don't think Swift have any clue about it. There are stickies, if they have seen them on the right, I think. No? Yep, they have. But Swift are just so far back, and we can see the gun being built up on last, so it's going to be a last hold, and mine's only on 40%.
And Ixie's on Sniper. He's looking, look at his light time. He's watching Lobby here. Nursey knows, Nursey uses really early the gun. He's taking down quite fast by Amps, and now the cap time is already, that's 7 all over again when they play that point super quickly. But nice answer here from Swift. I want to say that, but they get 3 down now. It's gonna be really hard for them. They can't contest that, and now Elako just walks over that, and he gets the cap from the back on a really good work from Amps. And again, it's just, I feel like we've seen 2 games in 1 map conduct. This is the first 15 to 20 minutes been really, really slow, but now this team, they're not afraid of each other anymore, and they just wanna, you know, show who's the best on that server. And right now it's Ascent. They're leading 3-2 with only 1 minute remaining.
As we see the demos arrive, Smear's a little bit faster, gets a nice sticky onto Ellicott. Ellicott is so weak in the choke right now. He's gone up to like 5 health. The Drac straight on onto Smear. Big damage. Smear goes down. The trading frags, and huge bomb from Silentes picks on Martin. And Swift are crumbling here on Ombrack.
Oh, that's it. That's game. But that play from Silentes, that was the high bomb followed up by the mid air onto Martin was a delight to the eyes. And yeah, that should be it. Ascent, they're taking that first map 3-2, but what a game it was, Condog. I mean, I don't think anybody expected that, because again, I think we had 2 games in one map, really slow and then really aggressive, really back and forth. And I think people believed in Swift when they came back, but really props to Ascent for, you know, I think they got a bit shaky at some point. They may even have been scared of of losing that game, but in the end they take it after a really close game. They even tried to go for that 4-2 and maybe give me a good prediction of a 2-round difference, but no, Swift, they don't want to give me that even. And that's it. That's the first map. Ascent.EU is taking process against Swift.eu. That's 3-2, and what a game it was, Condog.
What a game, Ombrack. Honestly, that was so back and forth. You know, we had that sort of middle section where they settled into the sniper, and we had a sniper duel sort of going on. But the back and forth rounds at the ends were very exciting, and it's not like you had much dead time at the ends. You know, we sort of see that a lot in TF2 where you've got 3 or 4 minutes where it's obvious what the end result is going to be, but this was really down to the wire.
Indeed, it was, and it makes me really hopeful for the second. I didn't expect Swift to be that to put that much of a fight against Ascent. I have to admit. So we'll see how it goes in Granary. But first, let's see what people love. I mean numbers. I mean stats. Let's see the logs. And before you see anything, Condog.
It's too late. It's too late.
Oh no, you're cheating. But who stepped up?
It's got to be Ams. He's just leading his team success, but actually Credu is actually topping the damage scores. Can you believe this? With 300 DPM on the scout. This is a rare sight to see. But yeah, the scouts of Ascent are definitely really pulling their weight. And if we look on the Swift side, it's very mediocre across the board, and sort of sitting in the teens. But one thing I would highlight, being the medic main myself, is the deaths from these medics. Both just sitting on 4. It's a very low death game. And I think that's a credit to these players, honestly.
Yeah, true. Well, yeah, I think this log is really hard to read because that game was super slow for a really long time. But then you see Scout topping the damage, which is kind of unusual when the game is slow. So really impressive showing here from Crew. Impressive damage, impressive ratio, and I think what makes the difference in when you see the death, mostly for Ascent, Elako barely dying, only 7 death, Nursey 4 death, Credu 8 death. The really from when you see that, it looks almost like a game of attrition, where you try to make the better of your lives. And it looks like at that little game, Ascent was better, but what interests me is how the heals got shared between the players in Ascent, because we mentioned before that game how it could be a trouble for them between Elako and Amps sharing these heals. And it looks like, I think this is the first time I'm seeing Elako with such a high heal percentage ever since he started playing for that team. 27%, that may not seem much, and we've seen him with way higher heal rates before, but I think I've never seen him that high. May not mean a lot, that much for most people, but I think that says a lot on how Ascent shifted their playstyle a bit. Again, you have to take into account it was a slow game at some point, so you have to tank your demo when that happens to hold the chokes. So maybe that's what you need to read as well from these logs. But really, I think what hurt Swift the most, and we've seen that a bit, especially on the mids, is how Ixi and Alba had somewhat poor performances, especially compared to Credo, of course, but they didn't turn up as much as I expected them to do so.
Yeah, but even so, it was still such a close game, and I think
yeah,
a lot of that is down to Smear. He's just got those calls, and he's really leading his team. But he's also tanking a lot of this damage. Like, you look at the damage taken a minute, and he's taking over 300. Where if you look at Elikor's pumping out 100 damage per minute more than he's taking, whereas Smear's sort of going 1 for 1. And I think this is very detrimental for Swift in this way.
But you mentioned, like, despite the numbers being fairly favorable to Ascent, it's been really close games. So maybe that's actually pretty maybe encouraging for Swift. They made the best of the little they had, of the small numbers they have compared to the ones of Ascent. So I think even though they lost that game, they made a really cool comeback, and I feel now Ascent is looking at them with a lot more respect than maybe before the game, and I think they could get into that second map onto Granary with a lot more hopes. And now that we mentioned Granary, how do you, when you're SVIFT right now, so you've lost the first map, but it was really close. What do you want to change, to be more dominant, whether it's on mid or on the map in general?
Ombrack, if I draw you back to the last map just for a second, if we can see, apart from the first round, the 20-minute round, every other round went the way of the team that won the mid. So Blue won the second mid, they won the second round, they sort of flip-flopped a bit there. But I think mids are very imperative for each of these teams. So I think whoever really shows up to the mids on Granary is going to have, a better time on this map.
So it's all down to the middle, which I think every time I've casted, I've tried to highlight how important mids are, and you said it. I think except for one middle, every time a team won the middle, they won the round. I think
exactly.
The only time it didn't happen was the first round, that was 20 minutes. So maybe we shouldn't even take this one into account because how odd a middle that was, how hard a round that was. But yeah, the mids are really really important, and Granary is
Granary,
really soldier heavy map. So maybe the fact that Alba and Ixi on that good, I don't want to call them out, but let's put it that way. They're not that good yet on the first map. So maybe that's not gonna hurt SVIFT too much on that, because it's gonna be way more on the polygon and rising to make the difference on that middle. Because when you go into that middle, when you're a medic, you don't really expect to survive. Let's face it, it's not really your number one priority. So maybe there's more of a chance here for SVIFT. I don't know what's your opinion on that.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think Granary is quite notorious for one of those maps that if you win the mid, it's pretty standard to win the round. It's one of these sort of shorter maps that you can roll all the way to last. You often get second off of a mid fight, and then you have full ads taken to last. And this last it's not one of the hardest to push out. It's not like Badlands where you got the sort of the pyro gun set up. It's one of these sort of more open. The point's right in the middle now. After the update, and it's more easy to play the point. But on this middle, I think we're going to see more of the same. The sort of the standard these days is just sort of the double solid high bomb. With Granary, there's so many high walls. All around the mid. That I think we're going to be seeing them. Draken Seal just flying in. And I was tuned into Nursey's stream before to see their scrims.
Give us some insight. I like this. I like some insight from one of the teams.
A little bit of insight. And I did see Drac doing the famous lamp lid.
He's been really famous for doing that. I think he's one of the player that started to doing really really consistently. One of the first one to really do it really pretty much all the time.
Yeah, I'm not sure it was successful or not. I wasn't paying full attention. But this map is it was a lot of chaos when I was tuning into the stream. Ams didn't seem to always know what he wanted to do, but there were a few sort of set strats we might see coming out on second. A lot of Uber trades we might be seeing. So we'll have to look forward to that.
One more thing I wanna talk about before we start is you mentioned how that last on Granary is not one of the hardest to cap, and we've seen on Process Ascent they put so much cap time so early when they push in. Like as soon as the Uber fade, they use on I think it was a Lacor, and then Amps rushes the cap time. That's the only thing he has in mind, and I think that's something he took from his 7 days. And when you do that on Granary, I think this could really help them a lot, because you said it's not really hard to cap Granary last, especially if you focus that cap really early on. So maybe SVIFT is going to get off guards on that, but we'll see how it goes. So because we're going live on that second map, this is Granary for the first game of the season 31 of ETF2L powered by Copenhagen Games. This is still Ascent.EU against SVIFT.EU. Ascent won the first map, Smire and his teammates, they want to show that they're worth something, Connor, and I'll let you take us away on that first middle.
Yeah, Smith arriving so much faster than Elicor, and gets a really big sticky onto Elicor at the start of the minute. Elicor still waiting for this arrow. We do see the first frag going in favour of Ascent. Ixi dying as well, but the huge frag onto Nursey on the back lines could be the saving grace for SVIFT here, as it's just Smir remaining, and even he's being chased down by Silentes, and it's a 6-for-2 trade on Brad.
And well, you've mentioned how Drac is going to be important on the middle, and I think with the help of Silentes, he completely crushed the Dreams of Swift. Martin couldn't give any heals to his teammate because he had to focus so much on dodging the rockets in the EDN. He had eventually to go down because, I mean, what can you do when both Drak, Kudu and Silentus rush you? I don't think there's much room for the living here. And Ilako secured that position onto that yard. We usually say that Granary has no 5 cap times, but maybe twice as much because how the yard is a point in itself, how hard is it sometimes to take it. So it's as if Ascent secured the middle point and some middle point or something. I don't know really how to call it, but yeah, they have the yard, so it's really important position for them to have because that's way less ground for them to cover now. Ubers are going to be even, and you've played that game for ages, Condor. You know that Granary is infamous for being a really slow map, so it's going to be interesting to see how Ascent decide to break that stalemate.
Yeah, so they're actually taking this trade through upper now. So Silentes and Ams coming in, and what I think they're going to do, they're going to be leaving over the point, which is where there's so much more space for them to come in. And it's just an equal trade, and Elicor's sort of baiting a trap right now. And Elicor and Smith both have a trap in the same place on the boxes. Do you see this?
So they're denying each other. Why do you think they traded here? Well, what's your insight here? Because they basically traded for nothing inside. They just both teams use the Uber, and they don't really want to. They don't look like they want to do anything out of this. So what was it? Was it like something try to use and see what happens?
I think, you know, maybe Ascent thought they had a little bit of ad, maybe more than they actually did. But I think a lot of it is focused around these sort of traps. You know, they have Elicor waiting on the right hand side, and they're sort of trying to bait Swift into overextending. You know, make them make the mistake. And unfortunately, it didn't seem to pan out that way this time, as we are going to be seeing an equal trade again. And I think it looks they are taking Lunchbox again, and I think they're going to be trying the same thing again.
Yeah, Ams again in Silent trying to take that. Actually, Silent is on his own. He's broken in, trying to get. Oh, he gets only one rocket, but Martin was scared enough to use straight away. I don't think Silent had enough time to use another one, but what's done cannot be undone. And now Martin has used. It's gonna be a super big ad for Nursey now, and they shouldn't even wait for Silences to go in. They should go right now. But look at Rising. Rising's just waiting onto that drop down. But Credu's aware. He's too smart to get fooled by that. And no, looks like Smirre can't really fight this. He's trying, but the stickies from Elako are starting putting the Swedish Demoman out of this fight. And Ams now is eager to push with his teammate. They're capping and they're already going left side.
Yeah, Rising did get caught out on the back lines as we see Ascent coming in on the left hand side. There's a level 2 gun up on the left hand side, but that's going straight down with the Uber at the big bomb from Silentes. And Martin has been caught out on the right hand side. There's still a few stickies on point though, and Swift, you know, still have the possibility of winning this, as we do see 2 frags going the way of Swift. And I think they're clutching it, Ombrack. It's a 3 versus 3 right now. Another spawner on the back line, and there's Nursey's left.
That's insane. I don't know how they do it, but that was crazy how they managed to fight that, because Martin died really early. That gun didn't really held much resistance. You got destroyed right away. So in the end, they managed to hold, and better than that, even though Martin died, Nursey was completely alone, so Ubers are the same. So we're gonna see another reset, and we're also gonna see something I don't quite like, is Ams playing Sniper, and I don't think that point is the best way to play Sniper. I don't think it gives you the best angles, but I'm more than eager to see Ams proving me wrong once more.
Yeah, maybe it's used as more of a surprise factor, you know, it's not often seen on this, but he's actually got Rising pinned down in this left area. So maybe they could, you know, try and take the heels down the left or something, try and find a pick somewhere. As Ams is taking a nice little wide peek here. Elicor's got him stickied off, and sort of all of Swift are corralled into this little corner on the right here. And they may potentially try to go for a trade, as we see these soldiers just on both sides of the same wall, just hiding around this corner.
Like a mirror map once more. After the stickies, the soldiers, what's going to be next? Oh, nice shot here from Ams. I think he picked really aggressive and got polygon, and that's actually could be a really good trade here. Both Ubers have been used, but without a pocket to help Smirre in that fight, it could go really wrong. Elako's trying to get some space onto that Z, but he can't do much more. He's getting quite nice stickies into Smirre, but in the end he's getting pushed out. The track bombs in. He gets one rocket. Can he get more? Yes, he gets Martin. It looks like nobody really helped the Dutch medic here, and Track 3 nice rockets. He had all the time in the world in the end to get the frag onto the medic. But what an answer. Nursey's hiding. No way. There's no way it works. They haven't checked it, but so she lives, but she's gonna cut off position. And Alba Alba, he has the eyes on the prize. He's trying to go for it, but he misses the shot. He has the help though.
No.
And he gets a frag, but that was almost clutch once more from Nursey.
Credu picking off 2. I don't think it's going to be enough to hold mid here. Martin is up. But yeah, what a huge play by Drac on the backlines of second there. But then his team just crumbles around him. I guess that's
unfortunate.
the problem with having the sniper there. You know, he gets the pick, but then he's a bit of a useless player, really.
And it looks like Ams didn't really learn his lessons, because after being sniper, he's going back on spy, and I feel like, well, again, maybe he's gonna get the backstab and then prove me wrong, but I feel like it's really important to have
There he
those guys.
goes. Oh my
Martin
god!
got so lucky, like he's shifted from 90 degree and
He's so weak.
escape, and he dies to try to just rush him, but in the end, that's it. Smeary bombs in. Can he get Nursey? No, he gets cleaned up by Elko. And
Polygon in behind as well.
That's a crumble.
Onto Nursey.
What's happening?
No.
Polygon, he gets the frag, and in the end it's only Elko. Alba is flanking, he's helping his soldier. He's getting cleaned up by Ams. Ams probably is gonna get 2 frags, but in the end both medics have died. And this game makes no sense.
Ascent just aren't learning from their mistakes. You know, they're getting these medic peaks twice in a row now. They got the pick onto Martin, and then they don't blob up. You know, maybe it's the fact that they're lacking the AM scout. You know, the hard pocket scout.
That's what I think. That's my take. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're just sort of, they're not blobbing up. As we do see Mercy coming up on the crit streak here.
And interesting to see that SVIFT basically gave up on that middle point. They cleaned up Silentes, who was a bit too forward, and that's maybe the entry for SVIFT to go in. Smeary is already on that point, he's getting fight by Kudu, and he dies kind of petty by the rest of his teammates here, and Martin has to fight a one-on-one against Ams. Ams beefs! Oh, that's rare sights. Ams whiffs some shot onto Martin, and Martin lives, and in the end Nursey is gonna have Uber, yeah. He's gonna have crits, yeah, but no one to use really properly on, and with the mid on to the ends of SVIFT, this could be a free entry, because Elako isn't really... Oh yes, sticky traps, I take that back. So it's gonna be another reset on that yard, which is kind of acting like a point in itself. It's really hard to push from when the Ubers are even. But now they have crits, they need to make something. We can see Elako and Nursey trying to go from that catwalk. They've been spotted by Smeary, nice stickies. And Elako gets Smeary, nice rocket here. I think that was a pipe against from Elako. He gets Smeary, but Martin, nice reaction time. Using straight away, it doesn't drop. And without a demo, I think not having a demo here hurts Ascent more than it hurts SVIFT.
Yeah, no, definitely. But now the thing is, Ombrack, that Nursey's just going to be stuck on the crits. I mean, he's going to be getting it before the Uber. So they have a small window of opportunity to, you know, maybe bust open into mid and, you know, get a few frags with the crits before the Uber comes out. But this is the problem with on crits. As we do see SVIFT are busting on the left-hand side. They're getting absolutely stuffed by these soldiers and the scouts. And they're trading frags here. 3 for the side of SVIFT here. And the Ascent are just choosing to leave. I don't know how close Nursey is to the crits.
She has 90, so she's really close to it, and she has Elako in her hand, so maybe crits is gonna come. And I want to see pipe crits onto Elako, killing anyone. The crits is shield. Alba and Ixie dying to the same rocket from Silentis, and the soul that can be achieved with that Uber crits. And now Martin's gonna have an Uber of his own, but this one is gonna leave him unkillable for 10 seconds. So it's looking better now for SVIFT. Let's 10 minutes into that game. It's still a tie, so kind of similar, maybe a similar fashion to what happened on that process. Kind of messy. So if we follow the same pattern, this is gonna be the phase where, you know, things slow down a bit.
Yeah, I wish Nursey, you know, after he's sort of stuck on the crits right now. I wish he would have gone all the way back to spawn and maybe switched off to Uber just so they could have an Uber to defend last, because just being stuck on this crits is a really difficult position to be stuck in. As we see SVIFT pushing in this low right area, and Ascent are just sort of giving it to them, because Martin has this 100% Uber, but Elakor, look at these stickies on the right hand side. Smear's walking through the door and dies to the trap. That's huge from Elakor.
Feels like it's not the first time Smear is kind of getting off guard by Elakor. I think this is already the 3rd time on this map alone, so I'm trying to go for the counter sack onto that lunchbox, that's how they call it, but it got cleaned up right away. And in the end, you said Nursey's kind of stuck on that crits. Elakor was trying to pick, trying to see if it can do anything, but that position from Martin is really good. And now they can be aggressive onto the right side onto Polygon. It could be a really good Uber, but Polygon is kind of all his own. He can't do much more than this. The follow-up from Rising is too slow, too late, and Nursey didn't have to use the Uber on her own to survive. So now it could be
Smear sticky
bad.
traps. Yeah, that was very clutch by Nursey. munching. Am's munching a couple of pipes from Smear there. But Nursey hit a few. As Ixie's going to last, unseen, running onto point now. Drak's seen Ixie.
Can he win?
Oh, 1v1 on last. Drak wins that. But it's caused all of Swift to somehow die. And Nursey will have this crits running forward into mid.
Yeah, I think Ixie called for the back cap, so people try to break the cap from on that second point. But in the end, Ixie died, and everybody else, as a result, fed onto that second point. So now it's gonna be a crits for Nursey, but Martin already has another Uber, so it's. I feel like Ascent is kind of caught off guard here by Nursey sticking to that crits and Elako not really connecting anything. So they're kind of stuck, but it only takes one sticky onto the medic to unlock the situation. So maybe Elako can achieve that. But I like the way they play. Even though they have crits, they're not being overly aggressive. They're trying to see if Swift wanna take a risk here and maybe punish them with the crits. Not using the crits as an offensive tool, but more as a defensive one. So that's something we don't really quite see in EU, and something that, for example, Frio did really well in the past season. But they're tired of waiting now. I'm not surprised.
Is this going to be the money sticky? He's charging it up.
There was a dry. The first sticky was a dry one, but second one is coming in. She's where, but doesn't eat anything. That crits from Elako, blind sticky in the end, tried to do anything, but nobody died. Rising got low, but that's all, and now it's gonna be up to Martin and Smeared to take that fight. And I want to see Swift follow up on Smeared better than what they have done so far. Smeared is trying to make his way through that choke. He's getting piped out again. The follow up is coming. Drak is getting cleaned up by Ixie and Ascent. They have to give up. They have to give up that position, and it could be bad again.
They didn't get the force out of Martin here though, Ombrack, so
exactly.
Swift are just bullying their way forward, because they're going to take yard of this as well. Elicon's got a few sticky traps up, but they're all leading through the same doorway and all munching all of the spam. And it's just Nursey being stuck on this crit is such a detriment to them right now. As we see Smear just running forward, and I think Swift are going to be wanting to take this on to last, but we do see two behind. Drak and Credu caught behind. There's only 4 Ascent members on last right now.
Ooh, it could be bad. That's a effective 4v6 on last Smear. He knows about it. He tried to go in. Still haven't finally used the Uber. Polygon got dropped onto the Uber. It's not gonna be happy with it. Alba getting dropped as well. Elako dies, but in the end, it looks kind of good for Swift. There's so much cap time for Swift. Can they do it? But it's only Rising and Martin. They have to lead, because what can you do against the powerhouses that are Credu and Amps? And maybe he could have gone top and tried to go back up. But look at Drak. Drak, he has the read on that situation. If Rising had tried that, it would have been deleted from the map. By Drak, so in the end another reset, and Swift was so close. They tried to go for the cap, and maybe that's why Alba didn't got flashed, because he tried to cap and Martin wisely decided not to flash his cap, but in the end it didn't really pay off. And this is 15 Uber ad with the crits in the end of Nursey. She has 90 now, but it's really awkward position here for Sen Web to have crits, and you really, again, you mentioned that money sticky earlier, and really that's what it's about, because if Elako doesn't hit that for sticky, they have to fall back.
Yeah, as we do see Ascent trying to come forward with the crits here, but Elako actually dies and still gets picked off as well. And Martin has come up on his Uber here.
That's awful.
This is very bad for Ascent here. As we do see Credu is all the way behind on mid.
Oh, the crit! Smeary died, got dropped by Martin again, but Alba this time gets fragged. Ixie as well. This could be a round. Alba needs to win this, and he doesn't even have to win this. He just sits on that point, and Amps was too far away, and that's another one. And again, it's going to be really tough to blame one person in particular. So let's blame the weapon. That crits was that. I think that was questionable. Let's say it's questionable, because if it had worked, it would have been awesome. But in the end, that's that's not a round. That's a round for Swift. And this is the first time Ascent is being behind in the scoreline now.
Yeah, it's true. As we are coming to our second mid, 15 minutes in. Once again, a very long round. As we see all of Ascent and Swift, they're rolling out on opposite sides as Rising is absolutely blasted by Elako sticks. Martin sitting on 10 health on the high ground. He goes down finally to Credu's pistol as Nursey falls somewhere in the back lines. And it's now down to a 3 versus 2. Amps is running into Polygon, takes the 1v1, wins it. It's now Credu and Amps versus Ixie and Alba. The 2v2 scout duel. Amps not very healthy right now.
Take a bet quick, who wins?
It's on Ascent. Oh, it's the 1v1. It's gonna be Credu. It's Credu. Oh. Health favor, Credu's down to 10 health.
Nice play from Ixie, and against all odds, Amps and Credu are defeated by Alba and Ixie, and What a middle that was again. Both medic died quite at the same time. It feels like Nursey got more supports as she spawns. So now it's gonna be a slight Uber ad. Well, we're talking about 5% here, so it's not really relevant. So that's a mid for Swift, and that's really good because they're winning now. Rising dies a bit overcommitted here. That could be bad for Swift because we've seen how Ascent is trying to take aggressive trades, and look at Amps already picking, trying to see if he can walk in. He's in, but he's gonna get caught, yeah, by Polygon. Nice rocket here with the help of Smire. But here when you're Swift, you're winning 1-0, you have the middle, and Granary is notorious for being a really slow map. I mean, that could be in the back. I mean, buy Swift, bring bus crew, park the bus.
Polygon dies. We see Drac taking the bomb in. Drac trades it out. Sill's getting very weak, and Smire is being very aggressive here, but there's actually a trap above this door. As they do lose both soldiers, Rising bombs in, gets a nice rocket onto Nursey, but as Swift are rotating, they've wrapped behind them. Martin's sitting very low, and they're going into lunchbox. Smear's fighting a scout on two, actually trades for him, and now
awkward position. That's an awkward trade conduct. I've never seen you done that one before. I'm not sure that's really appropriate. And yeah, they're leaving right away with Ixie and Alba escorting their medic out to safety. And I mean, why not take a trade here? That would be risky. I'm not sure Smire is quite happy once more to be completely disconnected from his teammates. So I'm gonna assume there was some kind of misunderstanding here on how to approach that play. And in the end, it's not a reset. And I've mentioned it before. I think that position favors Swift, even though I don't really like how they give space. Yeah, Smire, that's better, boy, do it. And yeah, that's a hold, and it's gonna be up to Ascent to do anything, and it's gonna be hard for them to go to Martin.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the intention behind that play was from Smire. I think there was a little confusion, as you said, a little bit of miscommunication. Smire sort of wanted to go in through Z, but Martin was sitting on like 30 help with the Uber. And they sort of had to split at this sort of fork in the road. And yeah, we are back with this equal Uber situation. And as you say, Ombrack, Swift are in a very commanding position, starting to force the issue from Ascent. They are prodding these doorways. And we see Draken gets air shot, one rocket onto Martin, but that's not enough to get the force out. And what are Swift gonna do? Are they gonna park the bus? Or are they gonna try something of their own? It's time to wait and see. We see Rising flying in.
That's no way it works. Ixie is following up as well, but stealing it's too late for him. And Amps is on Polygon. Can he do anything? No, he's getting. Ooh, he's really weak, and Alba finally cleans him. I feel like Alba, we've said how he wasn't really good on the first map. It feels like him and Nixie really understood how they had to do things better, and Polygon, as I said, what is this position? Nursey was not watching choke. Nobody was watching choke, and that positioning was questionable here from Nursey. So in the end, Uber has used a nice read here from Polygon, and it could be a really good commanding play here for Swift. They're trying to take down Silentis on the choke. They can't quite get him. And in the end, it looks like Swift taking that play really cautiously. And look at Amps. Doesn't want to help his team. He's already on last build and gun, so he's basically giving up that point away. And now the best thing for Ascent would be to force Martin, but Martin is really safe with his demo man and Alba, and it could be really clean Uber if he decide to use right now.
Martin!
Drac!
No!
2 rockets onto Martin and Alba. He gets to drop. I think he has a second drop. Drac Martin once per map, and that one was. Ooh, that was bad. And now all the good work from Swift, the slow and steady work from Swift, completely nullified by Drac. Gets another Klein rocket onto Rising, and in the end, it's funny how things can turn so quickly.
Yeah, that's really flipped on its head there, Ombrack. As Swift are still 3 players down, and we should see Ascent rolling into mid here. As there's actually no one on the midpoint right now. But they do finally take up that ground, and this is full advantage for Ascent here. And Rising is sniping. Is he in forward? Yes, he is. So will Ascent be aware of this? And they are walking into the right yard. Rising could get a pick here, but Elikor spotted him out. Sticky's on the doors, and there's no way he's getting that pick. Nurse's playing nice and safe.
He's been spotted by Silentis, so he has to come back. And now Martin is actually really close to his Uber, so all Swift have to do is delay it, finally trade it, and look at Silentis trying to go in the backline, get Rising, he gets him in the retaliation from Polygon, but in the end that's just a trade. Both soldiers died, doesn't really do much, but Amps wants to take get tanked here, and I don't think that's the correct play here, Amps. You don't want to be the one getting tanked on that point. Finally, X
Look
dies
at the
as
flank.
well.
The
And it's
flank from
happening from
Ascent.
Credo, insane play
Oh
from
my
Credo, he gets
Credo.
3!
Wow, that was absolutely insane play. And Drax in on the med. Oh, Alba tanks that rocket. Oh my, here comes, is that Ams running in, gets the pick onto Martin. Alba
That's the
really wants to win
buffoon
this.
fight, look at the hats! And in the end, Ams took the better end of it because he got the medic, and that once more, that play from the flank of Ascent, both Drac and Credo going completely nuts on that play.
Stills in on last.
But
What's
he's
this-
too forward.
What's
He's too
this
forward.
feed play?
I think he wanted more assists, but he got somewhat counter-called maybe by Nurse. He was really close to Uber, so maybe she just wanted to wait for Uber, which is actually quite understandable for the medic here. So it's gonna be now an Uber with against a gun and a sniper and a heavy. The heavy guns are out. Elacor's trying to get the gun. He gets the gun, and now the heavy will be the next target. But Polygon kind of jukes in between the pipes. He's getting arrowed as well. He finally dies to Credo, and that could be run for Ascent if they play that correctly. Silentis already setting the high ground with the help of Drac, and Silentis, what a job onto Smear denying the stickies, but in the end, nice job once more for Sticky from Ixie and Alba. I want to say how much they've impressed me on that map after their poor showing onto Process. I feel like they are really both stepping up, and they are the reason why Swift is still leading on that map.
Yeah, I can imagine, you know, the 2v2 scenario on mid Ombrack. That's what it was. It's boosted their confidence. They're really feeling themselves right now. And so, yeah, what a calamity push from Ascent there. They really beefed it. I thought, you know, the soldiers jumping in, they had all the high ground, just raining rockets down on Swift, but somehow Swift managed to push that out.
I thought that was it. Yeah, I thought that was it.
Martin has his 100% Uber, and Mercy's just sitting on 70%, but Swift don't want to do anything. They're just content to sit in yard. You know, they're still 1-0 up, just sort of chilling.
Yeah, interesting, because Swift had 70% ad, and I mean, I think this is the time when you kind of start to look at the timer. 7 minutes left. When you're Swift, do you really want to take risk now? Taking the risk of making it a tie? I don't. Maybe a bit too much thinking here. I think 70% ad was enough to push us from, but that's not how Swift wanted to approach that situation. So now they're gonna wait for Ascent to do anything.
Polygon's in the med. Huge drop from Mercy! Absolutely huge from Polygon there.
Mental.
Wow.
I didn't see that. How did that happen? Was Nurse in bad position or?
No, Mercy was sitting on top of them. She's an absolutely huge jump from Choke from Polygon. And just landed right onto Nurse's head, so she couldn't surf anywhere. As we see the Swift team starting to walk in through Choke. Spear raining stickies onto these soldiers. Credo's actually on the spy class though. He takes the back.
He's been shot, so yeah, I don't think they've been aware of.
No,
yeah, they know.
Martin.
Smearin knows. He with the help of Elbow takes Credo down, but that drop from Nurse could be really the nail in the coffin for Ascent if Swift played that correctly. But once again, they're being so cautious. I feel a bit too much. I feel like they're being a bit too respectful, maybe, of Ascent. And I want Smear to take more responsibility in that pushes because they have a really sizable Uber ad, but every second passes, it's going more thin. And no, Nursey almost has the Uber on the own, and Credo is on sniper. And maybe we've seen him hurting clutch shots, so I have good hopes for the Finnish guy.
Yeah, this is the time where you start to overthink everything. You're looking up in the top corner. You see the time just ticking away as we approach the 5-minute remaining mark. And Swift don't actually have to do anything here. As Ascent, Credo gets the pick onto Smear here. And I want to see how Ascent deal with this. They're taking the trade onto Ams right here, making everyone flash, and they're actually probably going to take yard of this, but Elicor alone on the flank. As Martin, really cool position, goes down to 20 health, and he actually makes it out. But Ascent are going to be taking yard of this.
Ooh, Rising was behind. He almost got Nursey, but couldn't quite land that second rocket. And in the end, Nursey lives, Martin lives, and I feel like I'm being repeating myself a bit. But once more, Smear got caught off guard. I don't know who's to blame here, but as I said, that both Silentis and Drac bombing in, completely denying that
Martin
space.
goes down,
3 people
Credo!
died in Amps. And Credo completely mulched the opposition here for Swift. Rising hidden into that ramp room, but he can't. He's been spotted. He gets Drac with a lucky rocket, but in the end, Martin died. You mentioned the Nursey 90% Uber. 4 minutes left. If they want to make it a win, they have to score that round now.
Yeah, this is the crumble coming out from the Swift. It's still 1-0 to Swift as Nessie with this full Uber advantage. And there's still 3 down on the Swift side. There's no engineer, there's no gun, there's no heavy, there's no defensive classes at all. And Ascent are just walking on this right side for free. They do use the Uber. I want to see Alcor jumping into them. There's no stickies on the point, but Nessie's flashing his scout. And there's no frags actually coming out of this Uber. Polygon, first one to drop. But then Solentes, a huge bomb from Rising there. It gets cleaned up, and there's only 3 Swift players remaining. And Drac is just herding them into this corner, and it's just Martin. And that's one round to Ascent, and it's 1-1 Ombrack.
Yeah, that was the mid grinder. There was nothing that could have been done for Swift to prevent that situation. That round for Ascent, a nice reaction. Hey, after dropping to mid from Nurse, the drop from mid from Nursey, they managed to fight their way back into that game. In the end, you said it's now a tie, 1-1, and there's still time for one of these teams to score another round. We see Elako on a catwalk. No, he's falling down right away. Nice stick onto Smear. It's kind of an even fight, even though Elako is less than 100 HP, and we're gonna see the soldiers bombing in about 3 seconds. That's what I'm guessing. Polygon is trying to go in with a fake high bomb. He's going in now. He's going really deep. He's trying to land onto the backlines. Oh, nice high record to Amps, and Rising is following up again. 1 rocket, he misses. He can't fight another thing, and now it's 5v3, and
Ombrack, they're stuck on the opposite sides of the map.
Exactly.
Here. Nursey's caught in the enemy's ramp room, and it's just Nursey and Alcor. This is not the clash you want to have with you when it's just you. And Amps has spawned, but Swift are just gonna keep rolling this. They don't care that these 2 are behind. They're just gonna go straight to second.
And Polygon with a nice read onto that situation, with the 2 nice rockets, forced the Uber out of Nursey, and now this is looking really bad for Ascent. 2 people, the most important players on their team, Medic and the Demoman, caught in the backline, and Ixie and Alba, the cleanup crew, is on their way. They try to get more. Can they get Nursey as well? Yes, nice rocket from Rising, and this could be it. Martin has the Uber, 2 minutes, they want to make it around. There's a gun, there's a heavy Kondo. Can they do it?
They can. They're using in here. The soldier drops, gets a nice shot onto Ixie, and they get the gun straight away. And there's no stickies on point because Elcor is only just spawned. Loads of caps on the point. The heavy, the 2 soldiers on the pipes. And Swift, are they going to do it? Rising gets another frag. It's just the scout. Nursey has spawned, running a spear, and 3 shots. It's Medic versus Medic.
He has to go. He has to go. The Medic. Oh no, Martin, you need to go now. It was a 1-on-1 against Nursey. She has ping, and the point is already almost capped. I think that was. Well, I mean, it's easy to say from our perspective, but I really feel like there was room here to make it around for Martin. But in the end, Martin leaves him with a slight Uber ad, 20%, 1 minute 30 seconds. This is now or never. They need to get that Uber time. They need to use it efficiently, and they need to get around. And they don't have that much time to waste. And Ascent, they can't. I don't think they can. Technically, they can take that win, but I think they would be happy with the tie and the golden cap because they have a gun, they have a heavy, and they can't push out. They have a sniper credo as well, and now Martin has the Uber. They
have a slight out though. They're coming in. Nursey's only on 70%. She doesn't have a Uber yet. We have the heavy on the pipe. There's no stickies on the point right now, but Swift aren't doing much with this Uber. The Polygon getting absolutely destroyed by this heavy, and Swift is having to back off. And now Nursey has her Uber up, and there's only 50 seconds remaining. So are we going to see Swift wait for 1 more Uber, or are they going to try and dry it, try and get the force?
They need to dry. It's 40 seconds. Mira speaking once more from the right side, but it looks like they can't take down that heavy. Drac did so much work with the heavy weapons.
They get the force off on Nursey!
30 seconds, that's pretty good from right, but now they need to make it count. They need to heal up, they need to go really quickly, they need to take their buffs, and they don't really have time to waste. The stickies from Elako could be dreadful if they get anyone with a sticky trap, but it looks like they want to go right side. Smear is speaking slightly slowly with the help of his teammates. They're trying to go in, but again, Drag on that pipe. It's just, the Uber has been used by Martin. It's 10 seconds, they need to put something now, it's coming.
So much
Smear is capping, but everybody's committing to that cap. Stick it from Smear, and Elako, they can take it around.
So he's gonna bomb the point as well. Rising caps it out!
No way! He got it!
Was that in the last second?
He got it! That's not even the last second, that's last half of a second, and Rising makes it around in Ascent. They lose this.
What just happened, Ombrack? Oh my god.
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh my god. That was so clutch. I thought it was gonna go Ascent's way. You know, they had 3 players stacked up on the point. Ixie was like 20 health behind them, but then Rising flies in with this magnificent bomb, lands on the point, and just clutches it out for his team in the last seconds of the game.
I thought I was a tie that was the end of the timer, but no, Rising. I'm not sure he was. like if Rising says he was confident he was gonna get that cap, I'll call him a liar because really that was so close. Oh, that was crazy. And when you're Swift, you're gonna be really happy about winning this, but I feel like you deserve to take that map. I think they were the better team on this, and they were not quite lucky in how it unraveled in the end. But I think this series has been insane.
What a game, Ombrack. I'm in shock, and I'm speechless, and I just don't know what to say. That was absolutely crazy at the end there.
Let's take a second to get our breath back while looking at the logs. But okay, whoa, that was so that's a tie. Both Ascent and Swift, they take one map. But let's focus a bit more on Granary before we go on the more broad picture on what happened tonight. But so before you watch logs this time, tell me you haven't watched it.
I've already opened it, Ombrack. I was straight on it.
You're disappointing me, son.
You need to warn me, ahead of time.
Well, I've done that the first time, and you didn't expect me to do it the second time. But
Okay,
tell
okay.
me, Alba and Nixie stepped up.
Yeah, they were definitely stepping up. That is for sure. And Arm's having a bit of an underwhelming game. We saw him in the first game, sort of, second fragging up amongst it, and now he's going 16 for 16. Whereas, Credu's still pulling his weight. But Alba, look at him, he's showing up 24 for 11. That's a huge KD. And yeah, I mean, Smear's doing a lot of damage. He's not getting the kills, but maybe that just encourages Alba. It's helping him. He's just picking up on these these 10 health kills here and there. But yeah, I was just
it's really hard to be like chill about after just what happened, because really that was so close. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen the cap being so close, but in the end, wow, that was a yeah. I don't really know what to say, because I feel like it could have gone really either way, and I think it would be foolish to say otherwise. And Ian Swift takes it, and I don't know, that was. And when you see that ratio from both, like from Sphere and Polygon, both going negative, when you see that logs, you don't really think Swift won that game, and yet they took it, and impressive. And I think it really went down to how Alba and Ixie really stepped. Like Ixie still not doing that much damage, but with a better ratio, kill death ratio, and Alba once more, and it was crucial for them. We've mentioned before the map how they would be less important compared to their soldiers, but it looks like we've been proven wrong, and I don't really know much about the game.
Yeah, definitely, Ombrack. And just there were so many turning points. We had that drop from Nursey when Swift were 1-0 up. I thought they were going to make it too, but then Ascent, they fight back. They retaliate with their own round. It's 1-0, and then just this clutch round at the end was just insane to watch. Absolutely insane.
Yeah, I mean, if the rest of the season is the same, sign me up now, boss.
What a season it can be. As we are joined by a few people looking to be interviewed. We got Alba, we got Ams, we got Smear. How you doing, boys? How are we feeling?
It's all good.
Yeah, pretty good.
Ams, you right there, buddy?
Yeah, alright.
Yeah? Alright. Let's should we talk about, what were your expectations going into this map, Ams? Or the game as a whole? What were you expecting tonight?
I think we expected to win. We haven't played them before, so we didn't really know that much about them. But I mean, I think we were we weren't surprised by anything they did. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And I'll flip that over to Alba, Smear. What about you guys? Were you expecting to lose like Ams was expecting, or?
I was expecting it to go one map each.
Okay.
I think that was the goal, at least.
Yeah.
Goal was to win, man.
Well,
I'll buy your cut, I think.
Yeah, you cut.
It's alright. I'll play with
wanna
You certainly gave us an exciting match, though, that is for sure.
So let's go take it map after map. So first process. Ams, you're winning 2-0. You have the lead. And then you got two rounds for Swift happen. It was a tie. How the team did feel because that was the first time for you guys as a team that you were under pressure? The first time that you saw a team coming back on the scoreboard, how did you manage that pressure?
I don't know. I think we were just throwing. Like, we didn't cap mid. We went to second and fed on second. It's just weird stuff like this happened. I don't really have like the best recollection of what was happening there, but I just remember like a couple like big throws, then a bunch of people discussing and mumble about how we're throwing, and then yeah, they capped 2 times. You know how it goes. And
even though they capped you managed to gather your strength back and you make it a run. I want to take it over to Swift now. So when it was 2-0 for Ascent, I think both me and Conduct, we believed it was over. And how did you guys manage to focus back and to make it a comeback? I mean, even though in the end you lost the map, I feel that's really good basis for you to work on, because you managed to come back from a situation nobody really expected you to do.
Yeah, I mean, 2 rounds ain't that much, and we had plenty of time, and the beginning of the game they just played sniper. So I think we just had a stalemate for a long time before anything happened. In the end we decided to change up in mid, and that kind of worked, and we could push on that.
Yeah, fair. That was so you basically changed things up and it worked for the best. After I'll leave you Conduct asking a question if you have some, but there's one more thing I want to ask Amps. The first 20 minutes of process were really slow, and I think most people expected you to play more aggressively. Was it that game style where you take things slow with a sniper? Was it something you decided to do before the map, or was it just something it just happened because it was a proper situation to do it?
Oh, I think most teams, like most Prem players, would agree that this in TF2 people usually, if you have the mid, you're kind of the one who makes things happen, and if you have a second, you don't really sack as much. It's because if you lose a lot of people on second, you get rolled to last, whereas if you lose a lot of people on mid, it's not as bad. So most of the time, you're gonna have one team going for plays who's on mid, and the other team just going for counter sacks or whatever. Right? It's the same on second to last or whatever. Usually when we are in the position to do something, we're gonna do something like pretty quickly. Or we're gonna do like a fake push and sack or whatever. Like, we're just gonna do something like with the team. I don't think these guys are as active during the stalemates. I remember like a really long stalemate on process second to mid when they had mid, and I think in 10 minutes they sent in Soldier twice and did something with a sniper, but that's about it. And it's different styles, you know, I don't blame him, but we're the kind of team who are going to push the pace whenever it's possible, but we're not going to do stupid things just to speed it up, so we were kind of stuck to playing their game for a while.
Yeah, I think like the stalemate was partly because we expected you guys to be aggressive. So we took like these super passive holds trying to get someone of you, but in the end it didn't work.
Condog, I don't know if you have anything on process to ask. Okay, let's go on to Granary then. So Alba, we haven't heard from you in a while. So you guys lost the first map and was really close. So what were your expectations coming to Granary? You eventually took that map, but did you believe you needed to play differently from what you've done on process, or did you just thought we were really close, we just need to do the same and it's gonna work?
I was quite nervous in the first map, so I like beefed a lot of shots and stuff. So I just made sure to calm down for the second map, and it's paid off, I guess.
Yeah, you did actually. We're gonna blame guilty here. You were one of the players we expected a bit more after the first map, because we know you can do more than that, and we were really happy to see that you actually stepped up on that second map. So now Amps, that was really close. I think we're not gonna. I think we thought that was a tie, and then Rising capped in the last half a second or something. You were behind for a really long time. Did you get impatient, or did you just try to take it like calmly and just try to do different things, because you were stuck with crits with a really, really long time?
Yeah, I don't know. I think we always try to stay calm, but it's obviously difficult, especially in a situation like that. Like, it's really easy for people to start going for plays themselves and stuff like this, so it's a bit yeah, people just tend to panic a bit in officials and stuff like this, and especially with us, like we're a pretty new lineup, so we don't have that much experience together. Like we scrimmed a couple times and that's it. So yeah, it's definitely hard to keep it calm. I think we're gonna improve in that regard. I think the comms are gonna get better. Do you have another question?
Yeah, did you actually feel people playing differently for that official from compared to the scrims?
Yeah, for sure. We had a lot of things different. Yeah, I don't know what this crits thing was about. I didn't call for it, but we just were on crits for like 10 minutes at some point. That's like something we never practiced as well, so it was a bit weird to do in the match. And yeah, I think we had a really different comm structure. Like in our scrims, I was calling, like I was like main calling basically, and everybody else was fairly quiet. But in these games, it was Sil calling a lot and Nursey calling a lot, and I was a bit more quiet. But yeah, we're kind of finding our groove in the comms right now. We don't really have a clear picture of what we want to do with the call structure yet.
Okay, nice. I don't know, Condor, if you have anything to add to that.
Sorry, just a couple of questions. I'd like to turn it over to next week. So we've got Ascent going up against Aura. So I just want I want to know your feelings about next week, Alex. Is your confidence dented after this result, or are you still confident going into next week?
We're gonna show up and we're gonna do our best.
That's what we love to hear. I'll flip over to Swift. You're going to get up against the big boys. You're top of one of the big boys tonight. On one map. You're going up against 7. Smear, tell me your feelings. Are you confident going up against them? Are you going to take another map, or what's? Tell me.
I haven't actually played against them, and I haven't seen how their new roster plays really. So we see how it goes. I think we're gonna get a map from us for sure, but we might get one map. Let's make expectation.
Confidence. We love to hear it. Well, Ombrack, that's me out. So.
Okay, so let's take it to shoutouts going from down top to bottom on that mumble. Alba, I'll let you shout out first.
Yeah, shoutouts to my team first of all. Shoutouts to Ascent. Shoutouts to the Saints boys like Caps, Dania, Kaya, and Smear, of course. And yeah.
Ams, do you have any shoutouts?
No.
Okay, Smearing, it's your turn.
Shout out to my team and Ascent and you guys for producing.
Conduct, nobody cares about your shoutouts, so I think we're gonna wrap it up.
Ombrack and gemm and stream over there.
What the hell?
Not you.
Yeah, it's already quite late, so we're gonna wrap it up. That was week 1, the first game of ETF2L Premiership Season 31, powered by Copenhagen Games. That was Ascent.EU against SVIFT.EU, both teams taking a map out of each other. I've been Ombrack, I've been joined by Condog on the mic and the gemm on production. I think the next game is going to be soon enough this week, maybe even tomorrow, but I'm not quite sure about that. No, nothing has been scheduled yet, but stay tuned, follow TFTV on Twitter, and we'll see you next time. Have a good evening.